Welcome to this week's edition of Valpo Football Preview, along with head coach Dave Cicchini. I'm Todd Eichow. We get a chance to take a look back at what was a season that wrapped up on Saturday with an outstanding win at home, a season that showed great improvement and hopefully a building step for the future.
Sure. I mean, anytime you can get a win to finish up the season, that kind of gives you a little extra momentum heading into the off season and into the weight room. But we talked about it all week. A chance to send the seniors off with a victory. It was incredible to see those guys after the game and the joy, and to be able to go ring that bell one more time was a great feeling. And to do it against a Jacksonville team which had dominated us a year ago, 58-13. I think you brought up the point, the 86-7 game or whatever, the last time that they had come to Brown Field. So this was a good football team. It was a great win for the program, but most importantly, it was great to send those seniors out.
And you did it with all three areas contributing.
Right.
Defense made just enough plays. Yeah. The offense certainly in that first half, up and down the field, and of course you had. The game started with one of the special teams plays of the year. So you had all three phases working, which you really need in most cases. Some teams can just dominate by scoring 60 points, but for you guys to be successful, you need all three of them.
Yeah, no, there's no question. I mean, Jacksonville was a team that was talented. They're a little bit bigger, stronger, and faster than us. And to win those games, you need to be firing on all cylinders. You need to win the turnover battle, which we did. Getting those two big turnovers in the first half really kept the momentum on our side. But really, Bailey Gessinger's kickoff return 10 seconds into the game. I mean, it's an incredible statistic to think that we led that football game for 59 minutes and 50 seconds. So start to finish, that's pretty incredible, and that's a pretty rare feat. And it was, most of the credit on the play. Bailey did a great job outrunning guys, but it was the biggest hole that I think I've ever seen on a kickoff return. He went untouched. Great job by our kickoff return team in blocking that, and that really set the tone. But you're right, all three phases came up big. We had some hiccups here and there. It wasn't a perfect game, but the defense came up big on fourth down when it needed to come up big a couple of times in the fourth quarter, and the offense made some huge plays throughout the course of the game to really keep things going and score points.
I think one thing we talked about 3 years ago when you were hired, you looked at film and everything, you looked at the roster and said, we need to have more guys who can make big plays. We need more speed guys. Certainly, first and foremost, we need speed guys. I think Jarrett Morgan was in your first recruiting class, and you brought Gene Renee in last year. Obviously, Bailey's a guy who was a track star in high school. Those guys, you can make up a lot with a few big plays.
Right, exactly. Right? And anytime you can get out into that open field and just separate away, which we do have some guys, we're getting better, we're getting faster every single year. Even a guy like Frank Katrine, who's not necessarily a track athlete, he broke free for a 72-yard run. It was great to see him pull away from most of Jacksonville's defense and not get caught. So when you can have those types of big momentum plays, that makes such a difference. And we talk to our players about it a lot, that when you watch the biggest difference between watching a game at the Division I FCS level versus watching a Big Ten matchup or an SEC matchup is when players get into the open field, that's the real difference of the game, the ability to just run away and make a 5-yard gain into a 50-yard touchdown. And we need to do more of those things. We did a great job. We always talk about efficiency and efficient offensive play. Hey, staying on schedule, a 1st and 10 turns into a 2nd and 6, which is a 3rd and 1, which now resets the sticks, and that's being efficient. And we need to do that in our offense because that's one of the things that the philosophy is built around. But to have that breakaway threat, to have that big play threat, and have it always be there, whether it's through the air or on the ground, that just provides an element that really separates average offenses from the truly elite offenses that are out there.
And to be successful offensively, and we've seen it week after week in the PFL, the best teams seem to have the best quarterbacks.
Right.
You got Jimmy Seawald for 3 more years. You've got some guys who redshirted this year that you really like. Mm-hmm. The quarterback position, I think, going forward, looks to be better than it's been in your previous couple of years.
Yeah, I tell you, Jimmy finished on a real high note, completed 75% of his passes, 2 touchdowns. 0 interceptions. He's still, the great thing about him is he's still got a long way to go to reach his potential, which is a really exciting thing. We do have a number of freshmen who redshirted this year who will get a chance to get better this spring and prove themselves. So we're thrilled just overall in terms of the number of skill players on offense that we have back, really starting with that quarterback position, but at running back, at wide receiver, at tight end, all of those type of playmaker situations, we are really going to be in a good place next year.
You had some really good success on the defensive side of the ball with some sophomores really
Right.
elevating their game. Drew Snoffer obviously had a great season. Joey Diaz-Martinez, 2 more takeaways.
Sure.
Going forward, those are going to be your leaders, but you need other guys similar to those guys to
Right.
become an elite defense.
Yes,
right?
I mean, there's no question. We would love to have J.J. Nunez back. He's petitioning to get his extra year of eligibility, and hopefully we'll hear on that soon because, again, Joey was a phenomenal player for us and basically played a lot more because JJ was out for all but one half of the first game of the season. But we need JJ's leadership. He did an outstanding job. He's a great player. He's talented, and there's certainly enough room in the defense to have both he and Joey out there at the same time. And I think when you look overall, the potential, the number of guys that we have coming back on defense, it's almost as exciting as the amount of guys that we have back in the skill position. So a lot of experienced corners. We'll lose Adode Karobo, which will hurt us, but we've got a lot of young players who played a lot of football for us in the secondary. Kellen Hughes coming back at the free safety position, who I think right now finished as our second leading tackler. Drew Snoffer leads a host of young linebackers that will return. You do lose Derek Estelle in the middle, but I think we will continue to get better at that position as well. And we've got some young defensive linemen, guys that either redshirted and have great high-end potential. You have a guy like Murphy Osmond who played an awful lot as a freshman and made some plays out there. So we've got a really bright future. We're hoping that we can go out and continue to recruit, to continue to find guys who are of the same caliber. These last 2 recruiting classes that we've been able to get, we feel like with one more recruiting class, we feel we'll have the depth, we'll have the maturity, we'll have the experience certainly to really be able to go toe-to-toe with the best that the PFL has to offer next year.
You mentioned 3 safeties. Will one of them play maybe a corner?
Well, absolutely, and you can do that because of the athleticism that both Joey and JJ do bring to the table. I think that as a nickelback position, certainly as a corner, Joey has played corner in the past, so we do have that type of athleticism at that safety position. So it'll be interesting to see.
You look back on your first 3 years. Is the program progressing the way you thought?
No question. I mean, I really feel like to build a program the right way with a solid foundation and not do it with trying to get transfers or going after junior college. That's just not really what this university is all about. And we want to build the program the right way. We want to build it for lasting success, not just be a flash in the pan. And this is how you do it. So 4-7 was a good year. Obviously, we could have been 5-6 or possibly even 6-5. And so I don't really gauge the program as saying, hey, boy, I wish, I thought we would have won 5 games or maybe 6 games this year. I really gauge us in terms of where we're at as a program as a whole, the talent level and the depth that we have in the program 3 seasons in, and the potential that we have for year 4 and down the road. And I'm very pleased with where we're at right now.
Great. It's been fun. We wish you the best of luck in recruiting, and we'll see you going forward.
Thanks, Todd.
Head coach Dave Cicchini, thanks for joining us this year on Valpo Football Preview.